As I said earlier, I've been feeling very contemplative lately about this teaching. I'm teaching so many classes right now. CPR has morphed into an entirely different animal than I've ever had the pleasure of riding before. The ministerial class cracks me open every single week, especially now that they're in teaching mode and they get to teach me every week. And then the Troward class is just, well, it's Troward. So, right, Lori? So, I love someone's affirmation. We had to do 3 affirmations on CPR, and someone's affirmation was, I know right here and right now that I start understanding Troward with ease and grace. I was like, okay, me too. So there's so much going on, and all of it, to me, leads back to this incredible understanding that has come through me in the last so many years of the I am God. And it's an interesting phenomenon, this I am God, because when you start breaking down the word God, when you start trying to get clear on what does God really mean to you, what is God, then you have to be really careful when you're saying I am God, that you know what you're saying. And that you're not saying, I am God, and it's this old paradigm of God, because that's offensive to a lot of people, you saying, I am God. But, of course, I am God, and so is everyone else, because of our understanding of God. And this song, you don't get it at first. It's very subtle. But this song is really a way of saying, I am God, without saying it, so that the message still comes through and it's palatable. So I just want to look at this. Some call it faith. Some call it love. Some call it guidance from above. You are the reason we found love. Thank you, stars. It's a lot easier and it's a lot more palatable to say thank you, stars, as opposed to thank you, God. And yet, this means thank you, God. Thank you. You can call it love, you can call it guidance, you can call it faith, whatever. But whatever it is, we must be grateful for it. We must understand it's who we are. And that the guidance, the faith, the love, all of it is what I am. This is just another way of saying thank you, God. So this whole month has been about saying thank you for us all, finding gratitude, living in gratitude. So how many things have you found to be grateful for this month? Have you found a lot of things to be grateful for? And the rest of you, what have you found? I mean, the truth is, with a capital T, what you fill your mind with sets the stage for what's to come. You fill your mind with gratitude, and the stage is set for everything you are grateful for to expand. You fill your mind with contrary thoughts, and you set the stage for more of that to show up. That's the teaching we're in. That's the philosophy. That is the great teaching of Jesus. It is done unto you as you believe. So what you fill your mind with, what beliefs you fill your mind with, that's what sets your life up. We are all setting ourselves up. Do you know that? You are setting yourself up for tomorrow. You're setting yourself up for the rest of this day. You are setting yourself up depending on how you set up the beliefs in your mind. And the biggest belief is, what do you believe about this thing called God? What do you believe? When you're saying thank you, one of the things that someone said to me was, when I say I am God, then when I say thank you, God, am I saying thank you to myself? Well, yes, you are. But when you say thank you, God, you mean all of it, of which you are, all of it, but allow yourself to be morphed into that allness and then say thank you. And that's what I love about this song, the stars. The infiniteness, the infinitesimal, the bigness, the infinite scope of the sky, of the universe. All of those stars. The second verse I want to look at is, some people think it's far away. Some people know it's with them every day. You are the reason we found ours, so thank you, stars. Those 2 verses are the first 2 steps of treatment. The first 2 steps of treatment, those of you who don't know, treatment is our way of giving prayer, of praying, affirmative prayer. Ernest Holmes did not really invent treatment. In fact, he only spoke ever of 2 steps, those 2. The understanding that everything is God. It's all God. You can call it faith, you can call it love, you can call it guidance, whatever it is. The stars, the infinitesimal, I can't get that word. The infinitesimalness, it's not a word, of the universe, right? That's step one. That's what it is. It's all God. It's all love. It's all energy. It's all life force. It's all creativity. It's the allness. And then the second step, some people think it's far away, but most people know it's right here. It's with them every day. It's within. It's who I am. God is, I am. Let's all say that.
God is, I am.
There's our whole teaching. That's it. That's it. That's the whole enchilada. God is, I am. So when I'm willing to look up at the stars and really see myself, I'm starting to get it. And when I'm willing to look at every single person as they come through my life and see God, I'm getting it. Step one, God is. Step two, I am. So the title of my talk today is Look Up, What Do You See? Look up, what do you see? The other night, I was walking in my neighborhood, and the stars were breathtaking. It was a beautiful night. And I stopped and I looked up. And I had a real question on my mind. I was like, it's so beautiful. It's so expansive. It is so infinite. And I know I can only see just a portion of what this is. I know I can only see what I can see. And I asked myself, do I see me? How do I feel when I look up and see the stars? How do I feel when I see the sky? And this is a question for you. How do you feel when you look up and recognize the bigness of life? How do you feel when you're at the beach and you're staring at the ocean and it's crashing and you see its mammoth beauty? Do you feel smaller than it? Do you feel one with it? Does it scare you? Do you start to understand? These are the questions that keep coming up for me lately. When I look up, what do I see? Do I see me? If I'm going to live a teaching that says I am God, then I really better see me when I look up and see the stars. I really better see me when I look out and see a magnificent ocean or a breathtaking sunset. I really should see me when I see the homeless person walking down the street. I should always see me. I should never feel separate from anything on this planet or beyond this planet. And so this whole concept of thank you, the whole month of gratitude, it's really a mechanism by which we can start to feel one with everything. I really appreciated last week that you went with me and you allowed me to talk with you and do a forum on what was going on in the world. And as this week unfolded, I realized I could probably do that every week based on whatever happened that week or that day, but I won't. Because I don't know how many of you saw the posting by the French man who lost his wife and son. Lost the mother of his child. How many of you saw that? If you haven't seen it, go find it. I don't know how you would find it, but I'm trying to think what you could look for. If anybody doesn't, just ask one another. Someone will tell you how to find it. I've been sent it 12 times this week. Listening to this gentleman say that you cannot have my hatred. You cannot have my anger. I won't give you that. And watching someone say, I will not stand in anything but love, and that love will take care of whatever that else is, was just so beautiful and so touching. And it brings me to what I'm talking about today. Look up, what do you see? Are we willing to, no matter what we see love? Are we willing to see God? Are we willing to see the truth of who we are? You know, this year is I Live My Truth. Lest you forget what our theme is this year. It is I live my truth. And what is our truth? God is, I am. Coming clean in 2015. God is, I am. No room for anything else. So the last lyrics I want to look at here is, there are no winds that can blow it away on the air. When they try to blow it away is when you know it will always be there. So I'm going to ask you to take a deep breath. And you can close your eyes if you want. You can keep them open. It doesn't matter. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. First question I'm going to ask you is, who am I? Just ask yourself this. Who am I? And the next question I'm going to ask you is, what do I identify with in my life? What gives me my identity? Just let whatever pops up, pop up. And now I'm going to ask you, if you do have your eyes open, to go ahead and close them. I'm going to ask you to really give yourself the opportunity to envision the most magnificent starlit sky at night that you've ever seen. Just bring it to your mind. Bless you. There it is. Billions and billions of stars. So many. Bright, shining, and a gorgeous big moon overseeing it all. Now I invite you to say to yourself, I am this starlit night. Allow yourself to feel the closeness to these beautiful things in the sky. And take a deep breath. And just release that breath, and then you can open your eyes. So, here's what you just did, if you did it. You just took your mind and put it where you decided to put it. You took your mind and you identified, to the degree that you did, you identified with you. And you identified yourself with something very expansive, something beautiful in scope. And in that moment, in that brief 1 minute, everything else could go away, because there you were. Now the question is, are you willing to, do you know how to do that, hold on to it, and keep that as your perspective to walk through your life as that? That's what we're here to do. When Barbara sent me the song, I went there so quickly when I heard the woman that was singing it on the I don't know who wrote that song. Who is it? Katie Malua. Her voice, she was so clear what she was singing that I had tears in my eyes. And I was sitting in my room, so there was no stars. It was in the day. But all of a sudden, there were the stars, and there I was, one with the stars. So the title of my talk today was really a provocative title to provoke you to ask yourself, how do you see yourself? Who do you see yourself as? Do you love you? Because gratitude, as we get towards the end of this month, gratitude must extend to me. I must be grateful for me before anything else. I have to put my own mask on before I help you with yours. I have to love who I am before I can love out here. I can't love out here if I don't love in here. It's a fallacy. It's just a way of not loving yourself to try to put it out here. When you love who you are, when you come from love, as love, everything about you, by the way. I am so excited to be teaching my new class in January on BODs, being our divine selves. Because if we don't start loving our bodies just the way they are, they're going to continue to morph into things that we will continue to not like. But if we start loving ourselves exactly the way we are, for exactly who we are, we start getting it. We're a choice. You are a choice to love yourself. And when you love yourself exactly the way you are, you start making better choices. We got to stop waiting for something to happen so that we can say, now I like myself. Now I'm good with myself. No, it's never going to happen. If we're saying, I will love myself when, ... those 3 dots are going to stay with you for the rest of your life. And those dots are here, and there's that thing. That's going to happen someday. Watch, look, it's getting really close. No, it's not. It just doesn't work like that. The dots have to go. Yes? So, if God is and I am, then I better love myself. I better have gratitude for myself. I better have gratitude for everything in my life, the good, the bad, and the stuff that I don't necessarily like. I still have to love that they're there because I put them there in some crazy moment of my life. And now I'm ready, from that love-filled place of knowing who I am, to put what I want in front of me like you just did. At any moment, I can look up and know who I am. Look up to the unlimited potential that I am. Look up to who I truly am meant to be. So here we are in our 4th week. I love that there were 5 weeks of gratitude, 5 Sundays in this month. So this 4th week, I'm really going to ask you to spend this week, really spend some time this week. I love that you're all here on a Sunday morning, and I love that so many of you are now in classes. And if you're not in classes, get thee to a class. Because it really is where the rubber hits the road and where you get to really tear all this stuff apart and really find out what you really think. I mean, this is all beautiful, and I love Sunday mornings. I live for Sunday mornings. But if I can't live Monday through Saturday from what I hear on Sunday mornings, then I need to do some work to make sure that happens. So our job is to not only remember who we are, but to live who we are at all times. And that means to like who we are. And I know that we can all point to things. Can anybody point to something they don't like about themselves? And if you can't, ask a friend. They'll be happy to tell you what you might want to consider not liking. And you know what? It's okay if you don't like something about yourself. There are some things about myself that, actually there's not. Nothing. I love everything about me. I do love most things about me. I like lots of things about me. I do. I mean, what's not to like, right? And this is how you should walk around. What is not to like about me? What did you say? Ask you? No. Okay. Only say that to yourself, not to the public. Yes. But it's important. It really is. How do you identify yourself? I really think if we really took the time, if we sat down and wrote exactly what we thought of ourselves, some of us might be shocked that we walk around with so much crap in our heads. And there's no place for it. There's no need for it. Because what are you doing? What is that doing? As I said earlier, that is setting up tomorrow. Everybody says, God, we're getting towards the end of this year. Oh, God, I can't wait for 2016. It's going to be such a great year. How about the rest of 15? How about today? How about the rest of today? You know, New Year's always comes around and everybody's like, yeah, I'm going to do, this is the year. How about this is the moment? Now. You know, we keep putting it off. We keep putting it off till later. We got to stop putting off our lives. We have to start living our lives out loud, fully, from the perspective of knowing who we are. And if I started this talk with I am God, I am ending it with I am God by knowing that God is not a being somewhere outside of myself. It's not a philosophy or an old relic of a word that has no more business in my life. Because I grew up loving God. I grew up as a good, very good little Catholic boy loving God. I had such an emotional reaction to my religion when I was Catholic. That only ended when I saw some things in my religion that I just couldn't grasp. I couldn't handle. And the sexuality part too. Gay people were not really accepted in the Catholic Church, so that didn't have a place for me. But when all was said and done, I can go back to what I first felt. I still have that feeling. I don't have to say, oh, well, now that I know I'm God, that personal feeling's gone. No, that's not it. I'm God. Suzanne's God. Heather, Jason, you're all God. So when I say I'm grateful to God, I'm saying great gratitude to all of you and to the stars and to the oak tree in my backyard that I get to hug and to all the flowers and all the bees and the ocean, everything. Now, I know I'm starting to sound a little like Tiny Tim up here, but but it's how I'm feeling. This is our identity. Right? This is our identity. And I think this week is a great week for you and for me to really get in touch with who we are, to ask the question, keep asking it. And if you're in a moment of your life that just is not serving you, ask that question. Wait a minute, who am I? If you're in the middle of some challenge or some incident or some experience and you're not feeling good, ask yourself, wait, who am I? Because that answer trumps whatever's going on. Yes. When you know it, when you really know it, when you're really willing to live it. I am God, which means I am the stars. Thank you, stars, for reminding me of who I am. Thank you, ocean, for reminding me of how massive I am. Thank you, people, for showing me love and showing me what can be done with this energy called life. Some people use it well, some people don't. But the more I use it well, the more good is put out into the world. And the more we all use it well, and the more we all stand in the truth, I am God, then we can say exactly what that man said. You will not get my anger. You will not get my hatred, because I don't have either of those things anywhere available inside of me. It's not who I am. It's not who you are. It's not who we are. It's not who this universe is. All there is God. It's exactly who I am, and I live from that perspective. Know who you are. Spend this week asking the question. And once you finish asking the question, answer it from the truth. You are God. Namaste.